please. Is there anyone in the other room taking photographs? We've got some United Airlines employees who can get them to their chairs. Well, that's picking the low fruit, isn't it? I wanted to tell you, by the way, before we start, John Huntsman is going to be here. And he was unable to get the red-eye flight on American, and he's on the black-eye flight at United. So he'll be here shortly. We are excited. He'll be here a little late, but he's supposed to get here pretty soon. All right, let's get to this. Welcome, everyone, to the 9th Annual Reaud Excellence in Education Award Gala. And this is presented by the Beaumont Foundation of America. I'm John Stevens. I'm your criminal district court judge here. I don't know why they feel like a criminal district court judge should preside over this, but I'm keeping an eye on everyone. And it is my honor to serve as your master of ceremonies tonight. Thank you. This guy, Brandon Gaucher, an artist who took the photography tonight and has made beautiful portraits that the award winners are going to receive. I'm asking to do one for me, just like this. Brandon goes, I'm an artist, not a magician. God bless him. This is a time tonight where we say thank you, you special people, you great teachers, for your help, and to show our gratitude for the time and the effort that you have put into educating our children.
I think that, as educators, we hold and we carry so many hats. And so for somebody to recognize our hard work and our dedication and our tireless hours, it truly means a lot.
Thank you, John. Let us pray. Father, we know that we've all been given different talents and gifts and abilities, and that you work different ways through each of us, and that we should all serve you faithfully as we use those gifts to glorify your name. We know that we should use our gifts and abilities to honor you and to bless and encourage and strengthen others in love, and that we should stir them up, fan them in the flames so that they get even better to the edification of the church and to the glory of God. Father, this evening we gather together to honor those faithful men and women whom you have given such a special gift. This evening we honor and recognize these incredible men and women who have made such an incredible difference in the lives of our children as teachers. Men and women who have molded the lives of so many people. Men and women who, through their hard work and dedication, have helped our young people become the persons that you have made them to be. Father, be with us tonight as we celebrate, as we say thank you to these incredible servants of yours. We ask that you bless this food and nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to your service, and that you bless our honorees and guide them as they continue their work, giving them peace and comfort that only you can give. In your Son's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you, Keith. Keith Giblin has come a long way from Lucas Street, where he grew up, Concord, and worked at Goodyear. Was a physics major in school at Lamar. Getting his degree in physics, went to law school, became a great lawyer, an assistant United States attorney, United States magistrate judge, and now our newly ordained Episcopal priest for Southeast Texas. How's that for special? Congratulations to you and your family. We're all very proud of you, those of us who know you. Keith has already started instituting some new plans. Just like the Catholics, you're going to start the confessions. That's a great idea. You're going to learn a lot there. And he wants to try something new, the drive-in confessional that he's going to call Toot and Tell. I love it. Great idea. And the express lane there for 5 cents or less. It's a great idea. He is always trying something new. In just a moment, we will have our food served, and it is great. The food is always great. We are here tonight at Lamar University. Dr. Evans, every time I'm up here on this floor, I see something new at Lamar. And if you look toward my right, that, I believe, is going to be the new entryway to Lamar in the master plan that is being worked. The Reaud building is there, some other special buildings, the new administration building. But I believe it will feed in from that direction. So it will be phenomenal. What a new thing. And thank you very much, Doctor, for your foresight. And before I let you eat, I got to tell you, I was in trial all day today on a case I don't want to talk about because it's a sad thing. I handle felony cases here, and I want to talk about something happy, light, and something good and positive. And the United Airlines chairman was before Congress today. Did y'all hear about that and see it? My God. Boy, you don't want to be in Congress with that kind of stuff hanging around your neck, right? He made some very important promises, and that's kind of neat. I think it's something new for the airline industry. He promised there would be no more dragging of passengers off the planes. Instead, waterboarding would be used, which I think is, well, that didn't get anything. And he did talk about their new slogan United Airlines has. You know how we treat our passengers. Can you imagine what we do to your luggage? You know, I'm hitting them hard, but I'll bet you nothing like that happens again on a United Airlines flight. What do y'all think? Kay Miller is playing our music tonight, and she is great. She's been here several years. Well, she goes home, but she comes back each year, and she has a great CD. It's called Recovery. She sings like Diana Krall. Have y'all ever heard Diana Krall sing? She sounds better than Diana Krall, who's married to Elvis Costello and is a great singer in her own right. I saw her one time. And if you need some great music, please see her. She says it's available on iTunes. Okay, good. Please enjoy this wonderful meal. We have some extraordinary fun and enjoyment. Some great people are going to get some wonderful awards. It is their night. They are very special, and they are the best.
This is our 9th annual awards program, and each one gets more exciting and more fun. Each teacher is so deserving. They come from all over Southeast Texas, and we love that. And our speakers, I think, really spoke from their hearts, and they wanted teachers to know how much they're appreciated and how much we value the teacher. And it shows in the monetary award that we give to them. They don't have to take it to their classroom. It is just for them to honor them for their long and hard hours of teaching.
You know, the teachers that I have seen come and be award winners are the most humble. They're not the ones that, talk about themselves or toot their own horns. They're just hard-working teachers that go every day for their kids. They know they're the number one thing in that classroom that's going to make a difference in that child's life, and they take their job seriously. And so for Reaud to validate and reward teachers for those kinds of efforts is just wonderful.
There are some special guests, and I know when I do this, I'm going to forget somebody, and I might not get reelected, but here we go. First of all, the Beaumont Foundation of America is such a wonderful organization, and I want to introduce the board of directors. First of all, Wayne Reaud is unable to be here tonight, and Mr. Gilbert Buddy Lowe is unable to be here, but our good friend John Huntsman is here. Thank you, Mr. Huntsman, for being here. What a great friend to Southeast Texas, what a benevolent man, and I've had the honor to know him. I'm going to speak a little bit because everybody talks about how great he is, and it's so true. And all we have is time to talk about the tip of the iceberg. He has a best-selling book, Winners Never Cheat. He, thank God, has found favor with Southeast Texas to come and be with us. He is one of the most benevolent men on the planet. He and his family have awarded billions of dollars to worthy causes. And I just hope that he will be able to speak for me when I die and up there going to heaven, because I know I can get on the express train if I have him backing me up. The Beaumont Foundation of America started in 2001, and its mission is this, and it's at the back of the book, and I urge you all, take this home. It is a wonderful keepsake. And it is dedicated to enriching the lives and enhancing the futures of deserving children and youth, families, and the elderly, with a focus on improving education, health care, and social services. How much more American can you get? I, as a judge, a lawyer and a judge later, have come to appreciate the great ideals of the United States of America, which I believe you can easily see in the preamble of the Constitution. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, 1, establish justice, 2, ensure domestic tranquility, 3, provide a common defense, 4, promote the general welfare, and 5, secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity, those who come after us. 5 American ideals that bind us all as brothers and sisters in this great country. And you can turn those over to this: fairness, peace, courage, altruism, living our life as a legacy for our future. That's what we just stated. Promoting the general welfare, one of the great American ideals. I just read that in the mission statement of the Beaumont Foundation. There is not another group that awards teachers the awards that the teachers are going to get tonight here on planet Earth, I believe. And the Beaumont Foundation not only awards very special teachers here in Southeast Texas, but in Lubbock, St. Augustine, Utah. I mean, they spread the benevolence around, and they are such a wonderful group. And I'm married to an educator. My wife is a superintendent at the Beaumont Diocese. And it was, as Keith Giblin and I were talking, it was our education that got us the jobs we have. I had 3 jobs going to night school at the University of Texas after I graduated at Lamar. But it was my faith in the education would open the doors, which went to the University of Houston and then opened later to Syracuse University for my other degrees. And Keith Giblin is, again, I can belabor this one all day long. What a success story. I have jurors who say, you know, I like you, John, but Keith Giblin, I worked with him at Goodyear. And we used to, during the breaks, we'd be playing dominoes and he was reading. And we all said, he is going to be important. And he certainly is. But it was his faith in education.
Sometimes it can be trying. Sometimes you feel like giving up. But just stand and it will pay off.
But you have to have those right educators, don't you? There's a great story I love where this kid goes up to his dad and says, Dad, why is the sky blue? And he goes, I don't know. I don't know. And the little kid goes, why do dogs bark? And he goes, I don't know. And then he asked, are any of the Kardashians smart and intelligent? And he says, nobody knows the answer to that one. And the little boy goes, do I bother you asking these questions? And the father goes, no, honey. How else are you going to learn? See, the point is this. Teachers here tonight have the answers. They have the answers.
They know they're the number one thing in that classroom that's going to make a difference in that child's life, and they take their job seriously. And so for Reaud to validate and reward teachers for those kinds of efforts is just wonderful. And I'm just so proud to be part of it.
Darla Marino. One looks back with appreciation to the brilliant teachers, but with gratitude to those who touched our human feelings. And that's it, is humans being the very best they can be, with education, inspiration, great teachers. We all know a teacher who was special, several of them maybe, but they touched us and inspired us. We're going to hear from one with Beverly Parker tonight, who is a graceful lady who Lamar Port Arthur was lucky to get to teach there. And she's going to give us some wonderful words this evening. Let me introduce to you some other special guests who happen to be here tonight. And we had a list, and some folks didn't make it. I know Judge Gerald Edens is here. Gerald, thank you for being here. Carol is his wonderful wife. And I see his lovely daughter is here tonight as well. Lamar President Kent Evans and First Lady Nancy are here. Our Provost, Dr. James Marquardt, thank you very much. I had a great time during the meal speaking with them and all the great plans they have here at Lamar University. Senator Carl Parker, my old friend from Port Arthur, and his lovely wife Beverly. Judge Justin Sanderson, or Judge Sanderson, are you here? There you are. And is Lindsay here tonight? No. Welcome. Judge Sanderson has already shown how mature he is, even though he's only been there 4 months. He's doing a great job as a judge, and we're all very proud for him. Is Beaumont Chief of Police Jimmy Singletary here? I know he's busy on some very important issues that have come up, and he is our go-to guy. We couldn't have a better man as our police chief in Beaumont than Jimmy Singletary. I knew him when he was a young officer, and then worked with him at the U.S. Attorney's Office. And I asked him one time, I said, you are gifted in crisis management and dealing with disturbed people. Where did you gather all that information? And he says, I've been on Facebook for 5 years. So there's Brooke over there going, I'm on Facebook. I don't like that at all. She's going to give me later. District Clerk Jamie Smith. Melanie is here. Judge Kent Walston. Ann Davelin, his lovely wife. Constable Earl White, welcome. Thank you for being here. Judge Baylor Wortham is here. Good to see you. And is your dad here tonight? He's probably at the Wellness Center. Let me think of that for just a second. Well, we made a joke. I said, he goes, I was supposed to go to the Wellness Center. I forgot to do that today. And I said, Bob, what's that make 7 years in a row now, huh? He's working on it. He had some health scares, but he's doing much better. And is Dr. Byron Mad Dog Terrier here tonight? There he is. Mad Dog Terrier, love it. Representing Region 5 Educational Service Center. I want to recognize the principals, superintendents, and other administrators of our honorees. Their names are listed in the back of this wonderful program. And I want to ask all of you, please stand. The principals, superintendents, and other administrators representing the honorees, please stand. Thank you for your support. Stand. And thank you very much. And my wife sends her regrets. She's in Austin at a seminar, and she is giving the presentations today, so she was unable to be here. God bless her. What a special lady those superintendents and educators can be. I've learned a lot, especially crisis management. Whenever we get toward an argument, my wife has an educator's gift of being able to stop the argument in its track. She'll go, John, I would agree with you, but then we would both be wrong. I mean, go figure. How do you compete with that? Also, former recipients of the Beaumont Foundation Awards are here tonight. And if you would be the Reaud Excellence in Education Award winners from past times, please stand up. We want to recognize you. Oh, there we go. Well, they look happy, don't they? And again, I'm going to say this, Dr. Adolph, John Adolph from Antioch Baptist Church, welcome. I know you were busy tonight. Thank you for spending some time with us. I know you had like 5 things going on at one time. We're going to pass the collection in just a minute. Would you return this? We were here. You got here just in time. And those outstanding portraits again, if you didn't get a chance to hear about Brandon Gauthier, our Michelangelo of photography of Southeast Texas, we call him. And each honoree gets one of those beautiful pictures, and you can see how wonderful those portraits are by the photographs in your program. Thank you, Brandon, so much for your outstanding work and your support to the Beaumont Foundation. Now, at this time, I want to introduce Frank Newton. And Frank is the president and CEO of the Beaumont Foundation. And he's going to be introducing our guest speaker, the wonderful Beverly Parker.
Thank you so much, Judge. Tonight, as we celebrate the 8th Annual Reaud Excellence in Education Awards, I'm honored to offer a brief review of the awards and introduce our keynote speaker. Our chairman, Wayne Reaud, tasked the staff of the Beaumont Foundation with creating a premier program for teachers in our state and in our nation. Chairman Reaud is himself a product of our local school system. He remembers with great fondness and gratitude those teachers who at pivotal moments in his career sparked his interest, enthusiasm, and developed his ability. He wanted us to honor teachers who educate the whole student, providing not only stimulus for mental growth, but strength of character. Furthermore, he was particularly interested that recipients must excel in instilling the transcendent and underlying moral order which occupies a central role in a balanced education. We know the student's most important window into the broader world, aside from the family, is that of a teacher, particularly one who exemplifies decency, honor, and altruism. Selecting these exceptional teachers started by outlining the appropriate criteria and then focusing on the process. Each participating school nominated a committee of students and faculty who selected one nominee per school. Those schools in turn submitted nominees for consideration for selection for the Reaud Excellence in Education Award. Selection encompassed 5 geographic regions encompassing Jefferson, Orange, Hardin, Tyler, Jasper, and Newton counties. We're delighted to recognize 15 teachers. Each will receive 2 formal portraits, one for themselves and one for their school, a crystal obelisk, and a $10,000 cash award. Our speaker to help us honor these individuals tonight is Dr. Beverly Stiegler Parker. She served as a professor and administrator at Lamar State College, Port Arthur for 39 years. Generations of students bear the indelible mark of a tall, elegant, demanding, but very supportive educator. And her students are not the only ones who benefited from her career in education. Her colleagues on the faculty and in the administration at Lamar regularly compliment her service, first of all, as chair of liberal arts, co-chair of the self-study, president of the Service League, chair of the Charter Change Commission, chair of the Jefferson County Tourism Commission, board member of the Texas Artist Museum, member of the Southeast Texas Substance Abuse Council, member of the Centennial Committee at Lamar State College, Port Arthur. Dr. Parker also served at the state level, founded primarily by contacts she developed from 1963 to 1995, when her husband of 57 years served as state representative and senator. Sandy Trevino Wigley, executive director of the Texas Artist Museum, noted that Parker, quote, tirelessly goes from one meeting to the next. Tonight, happily, she is meeting with us. Please help me welcome Dr. Beverly Parker.
Well, I'm gonna just kind of change things around already. Mr. Huntsman has an appointment, and we want to be sure that he gets to have a few words, and so I'd like to defer to him right now so that he can say something first.
Dr. Parker, you're much better looking than I am, so I'm sure that it's a disappointment for these folks to see me, but I'll just take a minute or two. I received a call about midnight last night. That's usually when Wayne Reaud does most of his telephoning, and I was in Salt Lake City. I just returned a few hours earlier from Germany, and I'm turning 80 this year in a month or two, and I've been on the go, and I thought, boy, this is a great chance to relax. And Wayne said, I can't make it tomorrow night, and this is a big event. We started in Utah 25 years ago. We're having our 25th anniversary honoring our teachers, because my father, my grandfather, and grandmother were all teachers, public school teachers. So it's been a great honor with Buddy Lowe to serve on the board of directors with Chairman Reaud, and he said, I'd like you to be, you know, when Wayne says something, you just kind of salute. You know, Carlos, what I'm talking about. You just kind of salute. So I saluted and flew in about 1,800 miles tonight, and I've got my dinner meeting waiting for me in Houston at 9 o'clock with our board of directors. So forgive me for leaving. And Dr. Parker, it's so sweet of you really to give me a few minutes, but I just wanted to tell you, I had the privilege of being one of the few people who voted for Judge Stevens last time. I voted for him 3 times. His next election, I promise you, Judge, I'll vote for you 4 times. He's one of the all-time great friends of mine. And, you know, you're such a wonderful group of people here tonight. I wish I could go to each table and begin to tell you what you mean to our family and to our businesses. And I mean, to us, Beaumont, you all are just great. And Nancy and Frank, it's a privilege and honor to be with you, and what a great president you are. And this President Evans, I won't even begin to name names. My doctor's here tonight, Ed, and my favorite restaurateur, man, Carl. I won't even get into you guys, but they're just a wonderful group. But I want to say a couple of things, because this is such an important event. our educators are really unusual people in our lives. I remember my junior year in high school, Craig Vedito, an English teacher, he'd come, I didn't ever hear what he taught me, I just heard what he didn't say. And teachers have this incredible way of influencing students, not so much by what they teach, but by how they act, their integrity, their honor, their sense of individualism. Because not all students, as we know, were born equally in many ways. And I think of Craig Vedito because he came over to me and I wasn't doing too well. My father was a rural school teacher and we didn't have any money. And he came over and he put his arm around me and he said, "You know, John, I've got great confidence in you. I know you can be something in your life. Now, you're not getting a very good grade in my class, but I want you to know that I'm going to stay after school every night you'd like to help you learn English better and not slaughter the Queen's English and speak articulately and intelligently. And I'm going to turn you into somebody who you'll be proud of someday." And I thought, wow, this has never happened to me. Not by my church leaders who I loved. My father as a school teacher was, a wonderful man, but Craig Vedito, I look at him every day of my life and say, thank you for coming over to the corner, putting your arm around me, and recognize that I was an individual who needed the help of a teacher. And teachers are remarkable people because many of our homes today, we have a lack of attention to our children. Many of our mothers have 2 or 3 jobs. Many of our homes are single parent homes. And so the teachers spend more time with the students than they do at home. And the influence you have and the impact is just tremendous. When I went through the award winners tonight, I couldn't help but look at Ronitha Pickens' comments that she made. She said, if I can get the attention of my students, I can teach them anything. And I thought, oh my gosh, isn't that true? Getting their attention is the biggest single problem we have in school because they're on cell phones, their mind somewhere else. And what a terrific statement. And I know that if Wayne Reaud were here tonight, he would say to you teachers and you administrators and you educators, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're the backbone of our community. You're the hallmark of our life. You're underpaid. You're overworked. And you are absolutely the ones that change lives, as Mr. Vedito did to me. I got thinking about that and what he told me to do and the confidence that he had in me. And I wrote him a letter my senior year in college. And I said, Mr. Vedito, you changed my life. You came over in the corner and put your arm around me. And you encouraged me to go forward and to do something in life. And it's just incredible the power and the opportunity that you have to change the lives of students, many of whom will never meet anyone other than their teachers, who will guide them and direct them and have love for them. And each one looked upon individually, because each individual has separate talents and separate abilities, a separate capacity. And not many of them, particularly in junior high school, and I said several teachers here from junior high, that's a tough age. I mean, somebody once said, when I was at one of my church meetings, one of the ministers said, wouldn't it be good if the good Lord could just eliminate ages 11 through 14? And I thought, boy, those are difficult, critical ages. And when a teacher just comes and puts his arm around you and says, I'll stay as late as you can. I'll be wherever you are. I'll go to your home if I need to go there. But I'm going to make you the object of my attention. And all of a sudden, a life has changed because of a great teacher. Well, Mr. Reaud would want me to tell you all of his grateful appreciation. He's a wonderful man. I've often said this story about Wayne, and I'll say this, Dr. Parker, and move on to Houston, because I need to hear from you, and you're a lovely person. Forgive me part of your time. But I always think of the Helen Keller story. She was both deaf and blind. And she made this great statement. She said, I may be blind, but there's one thing worse than being blind, and that's to be a person who has no vision. And I think of that because Wayne Reaud has great vision for this community. He's a stalwart. He wants to be sure we have the best teachers and the best students. He's the dearest friend I've had in life. I get emotional every time I think about him. He's gone through a serious operation, and he's doing well, and he loves you, and I came all the way 1,800 miles to tell you tonight that I love you too, and I'm grateful to you. May God bless you and keep you. Thank you so very much.
I think we could just quit right now. Frank and Mr. Huntsman and all the distinguished guests and the honorees for sure. Thank you. I want y'all to know, you're not aware of this, but this is a historical occasion tonight for the Parkers. I've been married to this man 57 years. I have attended political events for 34 years, and I have listened to speeches after speeches of Senator Parker, and he has never had to sit and listen to me make a speech. And you would think that, you know, a supportive husband, when they hear their wife is going to make a speech or going to do something, that they're all for it. And you know what he said to me? He turned around with that grin that he has and he said, "Do you know any jokes?" Now that's particularly significant because I can't tell a joke. Cannot tell a joke. I depend on some other members of my family to do that. So, I break the first rule of speech making: there's no jokes at the beginning. But thinking about doing this and thinking about why I should do it, I have to say that God has a sense of humor, and He is determined He's going to get what we're supposed to do. Because I was determined that I was not going to be a teacher. When I graduated from high school, I had basically three choices. I could be a teacher, I could be a nurse, or I could be a secretary. And my dad didn't see really any reason for me to go to college because he knew I was going to just get married and not use my education. So he was thrilled when I did, but he didn't think it was going to be worthwhile. So I don't want to dwell on what I've done, but I think it's relevant to the occasion tonight. So I will tell you that I was determined not to be a teacher. I did not want to do lesson plans or posters that my friends were all having to do in college. So I majored in sociology, and I was going to be a social worker and save the world. I got out of college. I went back to San Antonio, and the only job I could get was at South San Antonio in a junior high school, teaching kids who were within a year as old as I was. That made for some interesting situations. After I got married and we moved to Port Arthur, the only job I could get was at St. Joseph's Catholic Church, teaching with all the nuns. And my husband, having the sense of humor that he does, he introduced me as his part-time nun. Then I went to finally Port Arthur College asked me to teach a class, and it was kind of related to what my degree was in. So I went there, and the rest is history. And I evolved to finally getting degrees in political science and teaching political science. But I tell you that because you embraced your calling. I had to wait a while before I realized that really my calling was teaching. I absolutely loved it. But you recognized it early and moved on quicker than what I did. So I applaud you for that. and in looking at this, and there has been some of my thunder stolen, but I have to say this anyway. I want you all to think about a teacher that you had, because we have all had teachers that have absolutely influenced our lives. And probably the times that they were influencing them, we really they didn't have a clue that they were influencing us. And I will say, what was it about those teachers that influenced you? More than likely, I would say it's probably somebody who supported you, encouraged you to do whatever, believed in you for maybe something that no one else had believed in you for, accepted you for who you are. And I would say that all of you that are being honored tonight are playing that role with a lot of other kids. Now, and those kids' words, actions, attitudes, as y'all all well know, make such a difference. And sometimes, what happens to me sometimes now, after 39 years, I am confronted with students, will walk up to me and say, Miss Parker, do you remember when you said, and there's this fear in my gut, all of a sudden I think, oh my gosh, what did I say that this kid remembers? So words are important, and one event in a student's life can make all the difference in their life, as we all know. So I admire all of you who are being honored. I admire the thousands of teachers who go to school every day trying to make a difference in students' lives. And I'm appalled at sometimes the things that I hear that you are asked to do that sometimes doesn't make sense to you, or you don't have what you need in order to accomplish what they're asking you to do. And I know that I have felt this way a lot of times, and I'm sure public school teachers even more so. Just let me teach. Don't ask me to do all that other stuff. Just let me teach what I know I can teach. So, when I was looking at this and I was trying to think, what on earth could y'all are the professionals, y'all are the ones that are being honored, what could I possibly say to you that would be of any value at all? And I'm afraid that when you get a Parker, you're going to get politics. And it won't be partisan, but it's politics. And that is that you've all proven that you're leaders. You've all proven that you're outstanding and that you're dedicated to education.
I think that teachers meant a lot to our chairman of the board, Wayne Reaud, and he wanted to honor them and look back and say it was a teacher that made all the difference to my life, and I want to say thank you. Beside the parent, it is the teacher that gives you that little spark of what I might be, and each of these teachers does that. And when you read their bios, they all inspired their students to be the best they can be.
First of all, education right now in most people's minds is considered to be a cost. And what I think would be wonderful is if we could move from there and make it something of an investment instead of a cost. What better way to spend tax money than investing in young people, in the next generation? Excuse me. Not only their future, but ours as well. And I'll be the first to admit that you can't throw money at education, but I think that that doesn't guarantee that we'll have a better product. But I do know that education needs at least a base. And if you don't have that, then you don't have the wherewithal of educating kids the way they need to be educated. So we know that our country was founded on education, everybody having a right to an education. And with that, I think that we have a unique system, and we need to make sure that our policymakers understand that and that they follow through. Now we'll ask you, if you pay attention to politics, now a lot of you, it's not interesting to you, but if you paid attention at all in this last election, not the president, but statewide, more than likely, anyone running for office, if they were running for the state or the school board or city or whatever, they always talk about education being the most important thing on their agenda. That's number one. Now, if you fast forward to right now, when policy is really being made, what happened to this education being so important? What is it? I will tell you that it is that the voices that need to be heard are not being heard. And if you look at this, children do not have advocates other than the adults. They can't advocate for themselves. And so consequently, I don't think that we can blame the policymakers. We have to blame ourselves. We have to look at ourselves and know that politics is not sexy. There is nothing fun about politics other than the people that you meet. But I would just encourage you to really seriously think about that. You've been recognized now as leaders in the education field, so why not take advantage of that? Do more than just vote. That means get organized. It means sometimes that you stand out, that you're the only one there, that sometimes that can be embarrassing because you may be the only one that has the opinion. But in order to do that, educate yourself. Don't whine. Don't try to convince someone of something unless you've done your homework. Be reasonable. Be firm. And go forward with your schools, with your city, and even the state. It's amazing how much one individual can do if they really put their mind to it. So I encourage you to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Beverly Parker. Dr. Parker, thank you. Great. No wonder he won all those elections. He had a great wife, huh? I'm looking out there, and that is a beautiful sunset, and I was staring at Dr. Parker the whole time. You are so magnificent. You're a classy lady. And 57 years married? I think we can all, who know them, all say that they're known as having a love-hate relationship. We all love Beverly. Yeah. Senator Parker's going to get me for that. Dr. Sotolongo and Mrs. Sotolongo, the best cardiovascular surgeon in the world, is here. Thank you, and a good friend of Southeast Texas. As Dr. Parker said, I want to quote, "The cultivated mind is the guardian genius of democracy. It is the only dictator that free man acknowledges. It is the only security that free man desires." Mirabeau Bonaparte Lamar, the hero of Texas independence. A man one day was private, the next day colonel, 2 weeks later Secretary of War, President of the nation of Texas. No one I know in history moved up that fast, but he was a proponent of education, courage, and he believed that this land was worth saving and being independent. And if that's not enough, how about this one? Where's an if a nation expects to be ignorant and free in a state of civilization, it expects what never was and never will be. Thomas Jefferson, who President Kennedy once said when he was surrounded by Nobel Peace Prize winners at the White House for a dinner, he said, "Never before has this White House graced so many great minds except when Thomas Jefferson dined alone. Those people knew things. They had foresightedness. And I think what we heard from Dr. Parker is true. Educators face a difficult challenge. You must get the attention that is being swayed by the entertainment industry and special effects, right? And too often, Dr. Adolph and I have talked about the fact that what I see in my courtroom, the common denominator are young people who have been charged with crimes who did not finish high school. And why did they not finish high school is what we are trying to work on. I hear when you ask someone what is the rate of graduates in our schools, you will hear 97, 98%. We're not asking what are our graduate rates of seniors in high school. What we want to know is what's the percentage of ninth graders graduate in 4 years? You tell us that's 98% and we have accomplished something. But it is a work in progress, and that is for another debate. But I know it is being addressed, and we will continue to agitate to get a success that's high and satisfactory. Tonight, we recognize and honor the people who make those successes happen. And will, Chairman Ed Keller, and first of all, when Ed, if you would be so kind to come up here and help us. And did you want Frank Newton up here as well? Yes. Yes. I want to introduce as well the staff of the Beaumont Foundation of America, because they are such the backbone of this great, successful entity. As you know, Frank Newton is the president and chief executive officer. My good friend Ed Keller, Chief Operating Officer. Ed and I worked together. Ed was a great FBI agent and helped solve many important cases here in Southeast Texas. Rob Kraft is, I saw him here. He is our General Counsel and Chief Financial Officer. Rob. Carol Edens is the Director of Grants, and Hannah Ward is here, I believe, our Senior Executive Assistant. Right, Hannah? Good to see you. Now, I'm going to ask, will the 5 elementary teachers who are going to be awarded the honors tonight please make your way to my right. First one is going to be Rhonda Barner. I'm going to talk about Rhonda. Where's Rhonda? Yeah. She's got a great sense of humor. Everybody's lining up. She said, we were talking, and she says, I went to the dentist, and he was checking me, and he said, you know, I think you need a crown. And he said, finally, someone who understands a teacher. Huh? Is that great? Rhonda Barner is first. Rhonda is a 3rd grade math and science teacher at Kuntz Elementary School. She has taught for 30 years. She has a bachelor's degree in childhood education from Lamar University. Dr. Evans. Shane Rayenga, the principal at Kuntz Elementary, says Rhonda Barner is a shining example of what an educator should be. And she has dedicated her life to the field of education. Congratulations, Rhonda. Next, Kristen Dimitri. You didn't think I was going to get your last name. Yeah. This 3rd grade teacher at Jean Few Primary School in Jasper has 11 years teaching experience. Kristen holds a bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies from Stephen F. Austin State University. My daughter graduated there. A parent writes, I have seen many educators lose their enthusiasm for teaching after a few years. But Mrs. Dimitri works tirelessly to provide her students with an environment conducive for learning. I am impressed with her consistent communications, compassion, and willingness to inspire another generation. Congratulations, Kristen. Gail Dubose is next. Gail Dubose teaches at Sally Curtis Elementary in Beaumont. She teaches 1st grade and has 48 years teaching experience. I didn't realize she was even 48 years old. Gala has both bachelor's and master's degrees in elementary education from Lamar University. Principal Brian East comments, Mrs. Dubose has a profound impact on her students. She took the initiative to improve the skill and abilities of the entire first grade by single-handedly recruiting a small army of retired professionals who volunteer daily, assisting the first grade students in need of remediation. Mrs. Dubose's class sets the stage for student success. Congratulations, Gala. Darla Marino. First and second grade teacher Darla Marino teaches at Pine Forest Elementary in Vidor. She has 24 years teaching experience. She received her Bachelor's of Science in Education from, that's right, Lamar University. Darla is an interventionist, and we can all use one of those, right? Working with struggling students in first and second grade, she effectively reaches children who are struggling and provides them with the tools to overcome the learning gaps. Darla works collaboratively with everyone in the team to ensure the best learning environment possible for her students, according to Assistant Superintendent Bunny Adams. Congratulations, Darla Marino. Cindy McKee is a pre-K through fourth grade English, spelling, and math teacher at Highland Park Elementary School in Nederland. She has 21 years teaching experience and has a bachelor's degree in elementary education from Lamar University. Cindy's commitment to leading and developing a cohesive working environment for all students has been demonstrated by the vast improvement in student success. She uses what's called a relational approach with the students, which breeds respect and admiration from her students, parents, and colleagues, says Sissy Yeaman, principal at Highland Park Elementary. I have a pop test for you, Cindy. Oh boy, she's supposed to be an expert in English. What word rhymes with purple? She told me. Orange. Which is pretty unique, isn't it? The two words that don't have rhyming words, which is the answer, and she gets it. Cindy McKee, congratulations, Cindy. Charlie Baldwin. Come on up, Charlie. 5th through 8th grade history and religion teacher at St. Anthony's Cathedral Basilica School, and he has 28 years of teaching experience. He holds a bachelor's degree in philosophy from Xavier University and a master's in school administration from the University of New Orleans. A parent of one of his students says, Mr. Baldwin has had a positive influence on my son's love for history, politics, and religion. Mr. Baldwin is a central figure comprising the culture of our school even after many years. Students remember the time they spent in your classes. Congratulations, Charlie. And next, Kristen Elliott. Kristen, and these are the middle school teachers, right? Am I right? Yes, am I right? Warren Junior High School 7th through 8th grade arts teacher Kristen Elliott has 11 years teaching experience. She received a bachelor's degree from the University of Texas in art. In a system and age where we seem to only value the tested subjects, Kristen has shown us that art matters. A student says everyone has those few teachers they will never forget, and you are one of those. Congratulations, Kristen. Jamie Anselmo Evans. She's a Groves girl. I grew up in Groves. And she teaches at my middle school. Jamie Evans is a 6th through 8th grade teacher with Groves Middle School. Used to be Woodlawn in the old days. She earned her bachelor's in interdisciplinary studies from Lamar and master's degrees in library science from Sam Houston State University. And she says, don't you have a book overdue, John? And I got to work on that. Jamie has 10 years teaching experience. Groves Middle School Principal James Arnett says Jamie goes above and beyond what is required in her classroom, which is our library. In addition to being a librarian, she is also a full-time teacher. The quality of education she provides is proven by the success that her students have achieved over the years. Look in the program. Look at her favorite saying, "Though she be but little, she is fierce." Congratulations, Jamie Evans. Ronitha Pickens. Ronitha Pickens is a 7th through 8th grade science teacher at Smith Middle School in Beaumont and has 14 years teaching experience. Ronitha earned her bachelor's in interdisciplinary studies and her master's in educational administration from Prairie View A&M University. Principal Cobb Eaglin, Smith Technology Magnet Middle School, says Ronitha has the willingness to work hard and the ability to see her students and team members succeed. She is currently really spread thin as the science department chairperson, head volleyball coach, head girls track, UIL, and drives the bus. Congratulations, Ronitha Pickens.
I am elated. There are no words to describe how I feel. I was taken back when my principal told me that she was going to nominate me. I was just like, okay. She was like, "You're the best," and I said, okay. And I'm just full of joy still today.
Rhonda Sunderland. Rhonda Sunderland teaches 6th through 8th grade biology, physics, and teen leadership at Mauriceville Middle School. Rhonda is a Lamar University graduate with a bachelor's degree in education and has 10 years teaching experience. Her principal, Kimberly Cox, says Rhonda is known throughout our district and community to have a passion for her students and science. She tirelessly dedicates her time and energy to her campus through her effort and her foresight in engaging lesson plans. Congratulations, Rhonda Sunderland. And finally, the high school teachers. Azeneth Boan is a 10th through 12th grade math teacher at Memorial High School. I was told distinctly there would be no math tonight. She earned her bachelor's degree in mathematics at the University of Assumption and her master's in mathematics at Philippine Normal University. She has 19 years classroom experience. Memorial High School principal Dr. Glenn Mitchell says Azeneth exemplifies all the positive aspects of a master teacher who meets her students' academic needs. Congratulations, Azeneth Boan. Math teacher, great, isn't that great? Great. And I'm sorry Corey Crenshaw from Texas A&M is not here because we're halfway through and he would say that's almost 50%. You gotta love the A&M group. They have great senses of humor, or at least I hope. Denise Clement is next. Denise teaches 9th grade English at Beaumont Early College High School. Believe it or not, she's taught for over 23 years. Can you believe this? I mean, she must have started when she was 7. She has a bachelor's degree in English and a master's degree in educational administration from our proud Lamar University. Principal Fusilier was tasked with hiring the best of the best and asked a group of students who they could approach to help solve their problems, and the answer from all 5 was, "Mrs. Clement will help us. She cares. And she is smart, and she is very special." Denise Clement, congratulations. Valerie Gilbo. Valerie has 24 years of teaching experience. She teaches 9th through 12th grade English at Bridge City High School. She earned her bachelor's degree from McNeese State University in English, which is a foreign language at McNeese State, by the way. They speak a lot of French. Kathy Riley, Bridge City High School English Department Chair, says Valerie Gilbo is a committed educator who energizes the entire faculty and student body with her competitive drive for excellence and love for her students. And they love you. As she says, everyone is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. And that is not the way it was to be. Congratulations, Valerie Gilbo, for climbing that big tree. some great fans here tonight. Georgia Hall teaches 9th through 12th grade chemistry at Lumberton High School. Georgia has 22 years of teaching experience. This Lamar University graduate has a bachelor's in chemistry and a master's in guidance and counseling. A lot of the lawyers at this table over here could use that, Georgia. And most students dread taking chemistry. I think I would have loved it with you. I really would love for you to be a teacher for chemistry. They think of it as hard and just no fun, but at Lumberton High School, they can't wait to get into her class. Colleagues say she deserves the Reaud Award because she changes the lives of her students forever for the better. Congratulations, Georgia Hall. And her favorite quote, education, from Albert Einstein, education, the training of the mind to think. Well, what does he know? Joe Waldron is our final recipient. And this is a special man. Deweyville Junior High and High School. He teaches 6th through 12th grade agricultural science. Joe Waldron Jr. earned his bachelor's degree in agricultural science from Texas A&M. He's got some jokes. And master's in management from McNeese State University. He has been teaching for 42 years. Mr. Waldron has 152 students in his classes that include equine science, small animal science, principles of agriculture, landscape design, small animal science, principles of agriculture, landscape design, veterinary medicine, and agricultural mechanics. You need to get busy. He is regarded as a giant in agricultural science in America, not just in the state of Texas. Mr. Waldron makes a great difference in the world, says his principal, Brad Hagquist. Joe Waldron Jr., congratulations. And to all the Reaud Award winners, congratulations. And Ed Keller is going to give us some closing remarks on behalf of Mr. Reaud, who is unable to be here, and I know wants to be here. Ed, thank you.
On behalf of Chairman Wayne Reaud, the Beaumont Foundation is extremely honored to host this event and support our wonderful teachers in this area. I was thinking, what would make a successful teacher? I believe this does, and I believe these people exemplify what I'm about to talk about very quickly, by the way. They hold high expectations. They expect the best out of their students. They think creatively. In other words, they make the classroom exciting and memorable. They are curious, confident, and evolving. They embrace new technology. They're versatile and sensitive to others' needs. They emphasize the fun and learning in life. In other words, they make the classroom fun, but it's serious learning. And I believe they teach their students in the best way suited for their students. Chairman Reaud is very passionate about these awards. It's dear to his heart. He is very sorry he could not attend here tonight. This is the showcase of our year. And on behalf of Mr. Reaud, I want to tell you that he thinks the world of this program. He supports it. He believes in a generous cash reward for our teachers and the subsequent media attention that they get. He realizes that children are the future of our country, and based on that, he thinks it's our duty to provide them with the best education possible. That's what we're doing here by honoring these teachers tonight. On behalf of Mr. Reaud, I want to thank all of you for attending this event tonight, and have a good night on your way home. Thank you.
With Ask Not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country, but it doesn't. There's another phrase which ends in a prayer I want to share with you as we close and leave. With history as our judge and a clear conscience as our only sure reward, let us all go forth to lead this land we love, asking for His guidance and His blessing, and always remembering that here on earth, God's work is truly by and through each of us. Congratulations, award winners, and have a wonderful night. Thank you.